Guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Dance Life Love TV. If you guys are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more. And if you are familiar with my channel, welcome back. All right, guys, so for today's video, I'm going to talk about how to find a photographer. In my last video, how to become a background actor, I briefly mentioned about finding a photographer for your headshots and just some do's and don'ts. But in this video, I'm going to go more in depth on how to prepare for a photo shoot and also how to prepare for finding a photographer, what to look for, things to be cautioned when looking for a photographer, and so on. All right, guys, so first things first, decide on what kind of photos you want to take. So there's different kinds of photos that you can take. You can take lifestyle photos, which are photos of you just pretty much doing lifestyle activities like in the park or in the kitchen cooking. That's lifestyle photos. So the second one that you can do is performance photos, which would be more, so if you're a dancer, you would take photos where you're just kind of in like a pose, doing different dance poses to show off your technique and just the different styles that you can do. So another one would be dramatic theatrical, which that would be more for like actors who want to display their emotional range, so that way casting directors and directors can know what they're capable of doing. Another one would be family photos, business photos as well. So that's just to name a few. But first and foremost, you just want to make sure what kind of photos are you needing. That way that can help to narrow your search when you're looking for photographers. All right, so number 2 is going to be decide on what look you're going for. So as I mentioned before about headshots, you want to make sure that your headshot is a reflection of your current look. So when you take your headshot, make sure that it's completely just 100% you, meaning it is natural. You have little makeup on, well, little to no makeup. I recommend some makeup, but just keep it as natural as possible because you want to show the casting directors who you are, and you don't want anything to distract from that because they're booking you based on that. So however your look is, make sure it's crisp, it's professional, it's just a nice clean look for your headshot. Now, if you want to take additional photos, that's where you can play it up a little bit. You can showcase other looks if you want to do something really dramatic, if you want to do something that's really like super duper girly or feminine or something that is very edgy. This is where you can showcase a lot of that. So that leads me to number 3, which is decide on how many looks you want to shoot. So maybe you're going in for your headshot, but you also want to take those additional shots as well to show your range. Photographers offer packages like this as well. So they'll have a price for 1 look, or they'll do 2 looks with a certain price, or 3 looks, 4 looks, and so on. So it's all up to you how much you want to spend, because of course, the more looks that you add, the higher the price is going to be. But that's all up to you. It is wise if you do want to have multiple looks to add to your headshot. But when you're just starting out, I don't recommend going too crazy because, you know, you're just still new and you're trying to figure everything out and kind of like get your feet wet. So don't spend too much money on headshots and don't spend too much money on different looks in general, unless you are able to find a photographer that is doing a trade for, which is, again, a photographer who needs to build up their portfolio and they're offering free photos to you in exchange for that. And just a little tidbit, when you do your multiple looks, whenever you get to that, you can also use your Instagram as your online portfolio. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, just leave me a comment in the comment box below and I will make a video about it. So number 4 is going to be decide on what your budget is. Like I said, there's plenty of different photographers out there and all their rates vary. So decide on how much you are going to spend. And also don't be afraid to flex your budget a little bit if you find a really great photographer that you just love their work. You love the angles they take. You love the resolution of the photos, emotion that they're able to capture in the photos. Those are really important because remember, your headshot is your first impression. So you want to make sure that you're working with a great photographer who knows how to capture your best angles. All right, so let's get into searching for a photographer. So, number one, I highly recommend that you use Instagram to find photographers in your area. You can easily do this by just putting hashtag, the city you're in, and then photographer to follow. Or you could put photographer, hashtag photographer, your city, however you want to. Play with different hashtag combinations so you can get the best results. You can also check out sites like Model Mayhem, Thumbtack, Fiverr, and Upwork to also find photographers as well. There's plenty of other websites you can use. So just do your research because there's tons of options out there. So I can guarantee you'll find somebody. Lastly, the old-fashioned way is just word of mouth. Just ask people, hey, do you know any good photographers in the area? I'm pretty sure somebody knows someone. All right, so before I end this video, I want to talk about safety when booking a photographer. Particularly when you live in a bigger city, there's tons of photographers everywhere, and you just want to make sure that you are using wisdom when you book your photographer. And ways to safeguard yourself to make sure that you don't end up in, a bad situation is check everything. Check their social media, check for relevant work, check their turnaround time, which is how soon are they going to get your photos back to you. Check to see, their experience with working with different age groups, to just see like kind of what their what their customer base is, and just check everything, every little detail, because this is someone, if you don't know them, you're literally going to a stranger and you're trusting this person to, hold up their end of the deal, particularly if you're paying out money. I know when I got my headshots done, this particular photographer, I had to pay up front. If you book a session with a photographer and they want you to pay up front, then you have to trust that they're going to come through on their end of the deal. And you don't want to end up in a situation where you take photos and it seems okay, but then you never get your photos and they basically disappear with your money. That's not great. So in order to not have that happen, do your research, look for reviews, look for testimonials on this photographer. And again, that's why social media is a good way, a good platform, because you can look at comments from other people. And also, minors, you always need an adult with you when you go to your photo shoots. I don't care, I seriously don't care. No one should be telling you as a minor that you cannot bring an adult with you. You cannot bring someone with you. Your safety is first. If they're not willing to allow you to bring an adult or just bring a guardian, someone with you, do not work with them whatsoever. It is important that you're safe, that you feel safe, and don't put yourself in a situation where you might be in trouble. And so make sure you always have an adult with you. And even if you're not a minor and you're working with someone for the first time, bring someone with you. I don't care. Even if you're an adult, bring somebody with you. Again, you're meeting this person for the first time. You don't know them, so have someone there. I know I brought someone with me when I did my photo shoot, because I'm like, hey, this is my first time working with this photographer. I don't know him, so let me bring somebody with me. And and it worked out perfectly. So anytime someone has an issue, like any photographer has an issue with you bringing someone, that's a huge red flag, because it's like, well, why do you not want someone there? Like, from a common sense point of view, like, you would think, okay, well, they want to bring someone to feel comfortable. That's absolutely fine. I mean, if it's one person, it's one person. As long as that person is not being disruptive to the process and it's really being respectful of, the photographer and you and all that, then that's fine. But just in general, I just feel like if any photographer is just like, no, you can't bring someone, I feel like that is like a huge red flag. So just be very mindful of that. Oh, and one more tidbit too is the communication that you have with your photographer before you book your session, during and after. Make sure that you also have a combination of communication avenues, that you've emailed them, you've also called them on the phone, you've talked to them, but just have a record of the activity, just in case, because hopefully, you know, you don't want anything to go south. But for any reasons, if you ever had to take legal action for any reason, make sure that you have your evidence there. So evidence of conversations, evidence of receipts of purchases, and all of that, just to safeguard yourself, just in case you had to take it to court. All right, guys, so that's the end of this video on how to find a photographer. If you found the information in this video helpful and very beneficial, if you did, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because I will have more content just like this coming very soon. And don't forget to share this video with those that you think could greatly benefit from it. All right, guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.